Welcome to the course. My name is PHY1020. I'm the instructor for your course. Welcome to PHY1020 Conceptual Physics, the online course. What I'll do in this intro video is I'll briefly go over the course layout. I'll show you how the exams are set up and how the grading for the course works. And if you have any questions, please contact me via email, or we could set up a Zoom meeting. All right, so let's get on with it. Again, my name is Dr. Gajendra Tulsian. Here's my website, and there's some information that you might find useful here. Let's go to the course website. So you are all familiar with class.daytonastate.edu. And you should find this link on your page. So your page might not look exactly like this, but you'll find a link to the course website on your web page, on your class.daytonastate site once you log in. So let's go in there. Yeah. So here's the course website. Here's the welcome to the course message. I will post this recording of this video here, so that's where you'll be watching it. Here's the textbook information. Okay. All right, we'll be using the following links. We'll use the content links and the quizzes links. Those are the only two links we'll use, and you can see your grades there. Okay, so let's go to the contents link. Okay, so under general documents, you'll find the course syllabus. Okay, and I'll show you the textbook we will be using for this course. You don't need to buy the textbook. You can succeed in these in this course by just following my notes. Okay. Anyway, so let's go to the syllabus, and I'll come back to that again later. So here's the syllabus, and the syllabus goes over some of the topics we'll cover. Getting to the textbook. All right. So let's go back to the course website. Here's a link to the textbook. So here's a link to the textbook. Okay, so here's the textbook. We will be using Physics for the Life Sciences book by Knight. Okay. If you want to buy a book, the best option is an ebook. Okay, so you can rent it for $60 essentially for 6 months. Okay, and that would be the best option. It's a good book, but like I said again, you don't need the book to succeed in the course. So we'll talk more about it. Okay, so let's get back to the course website, the content. All right, so what we'll be doing is, from that textbook, we will cover 6 chapters in the course. We'll do chapter 1, chapter 4, chapter 5. So chapter 1 is Physics for the Life Sciences. Chapter 4 is Forces in Motion. Chapter 5 is Interacting Systems. Chapter 6, Chapter 8, and Chapter 9. Okay. For each of these chapters, I've made notes. I've made PowerPoint slides, and I have placed copies of the PowerPoint slides here. So here's Chapter 9 notes, which is on fluids. This is a very important chapter for the life sciences. All right, so let's go back to notes. Okay, so for chapter 1, here are the slides. Here are copies of the slides. And chapter 1 has 36 slides. Okay, so the way the course is set up is for each chapter, I have an exam. I've set up an exam. So for chapter 1, if you go to quizzes, there's an exam on chapter 1. Okay. Now chapter 1, the exam is worth 100 points. Okay. And there are 50 multiple choice questions in the exam. Okay. And If you read the slides for chapter 1, so here are the slides for chapter 1, and questions, all the questions on the exam are based on these slides. So the answer to every question can be found on the slides. So to succeed in the exam, all you have to do is read the slides very carefully, make sure you understand them, and take the exam. Okay, and the exams are open book and open notes. So the way I've set up the course, I don't want you to stress, but I want you to learn. Uh, and I want you to learn as much as possible. Okay, so all the exam answers to all exam questions are in the notes. So you just have to read the notes carefully. Okay, all right. So that's the setup. Also, for each of these chapters, I have recorded my lectures, in-class lectures. So let's go to the lecture recordings. So for instance, for chapter 1, I've posted these lecture recordings on my YouTube channel. So if you click here, so here are the lectures for chapter 1. Okay, so these are lectures that I gave in class last fall. So here's how the setup is. See, this is chapter 1 lecture. This is part 2 of the lecture given on September 2nd, 2025. Here's part 1 of the lecture, chapter 1, part 1 lecture given on August 26, 25. Okay. So I taught 2 sections and I recorded all lectures, so there might be multiple. So there's a multiple. This is part 1 given in another section. Okay. So anyway, all recordings to lectures are posted here, so you can watch the lectures as well. All right, so let's go back to lecture recordings. There's there's recordings for chapter 1, 4, and so on. Okay, so let's look at chapter 8. Okay, so chapter 8 on momentum. Here's a lecture recorded on October 21st. Here's a lecture recorded on October 23rd. Okay, so you can watch either one of them. Of course, every lecture is slightly different, but they contain mostly all the same information. Okay, so let's go to chapter 9. Chapter 9 is a long chapter. In fact, in the notes, chapter 9 has, let's go to chapter 9, it has 152 slides. Okay, it's a very long and important chapter. And so what I've done is I've broken up chapter 9 into 4 parts. Here's part 1. Let's get to part 2. We're getting to, okay, surface tension. Here's part 2. Okay, so chapter 9, like I said, is very long. It's got 150 slides, and I've broken it up into 4 parts, and there's an exam on each part. Okay, so just be aware of that. All right, so and now let's go to the quizzes. So here are the quizzes. The chapter 1 exam opens on May 18th, and you have a week to finish it. Then here's chapter 4 exam. All exams open on May 18th, so you can work ahead if you want. And chapter 4 exam closes on the 31st. So you really have, what I want you to do is keep pace, do 1 chapter a week. But if you want to go work ahead, you are welcome to work ahead. So chapter 1 will close on May 24th. Chapter 4 will close on May 31st. Chapter 5 will close on June 7th. And again, they're all opening on May 18th. Chapter 6 will open on June 14th. Chapter 8, June 21st. And like I said, chapter 9 is long, and so I've made 4 exams on chapter 9. Okay, and they all close on the June 28th. Okay. In addition, there's an extra credit chapter, which is chapter 7. Okay. Uh, so this is an extra credit. If you take this exam, I just add the points from this exam in your total score, and that's just extra credit. Okay, so the extra credit exam can't hurt you, it can only benefit you, it can only improve your grade. Okay, so that's another thing I wanted to bring to your attention. So here's the chapter 7 is the extra credit chapter. Here are the notes, and here are the recordings of the lectures. All right, so that's the setup. Again, we're covering 6 chapters. So now let me go over the grading. Let me go over the syllabus. Okay, so you can find the syllabus under general. So let's go to syllabus. And again, the course number is PHY1020, Conceptual Physics. This is a purely online course. I am teaching a summer A class on the Daytona Beach campus, so if you want to come see me there, you're welcome to come to my office, which is in building 410 to room 209. A good way to communicate with me is via my email. I reply to my emails quite quickly. Okay, so, and if you want, we can also set up a Zoom meeting. But anyway, here are my office hours, Monday through Wednesday. I have to fix that. My office hours are Monday through Thursday. I'll post my office hours. I'll fix that and post my office hours. Okay, so here's the course description and so on, and you can read all of that. I will mostly go to the grading section and go over that, so you can read the topics we'll be covering. Here is the ISBN number for the textbook if you choose to buy the textbook. Again, like I said, you don't really need the textbook. All right, so here is the class website. Okay, so let's go to evaluations. So here's how the grading will work. Okay, so like I said, each chapter you'll be taking approximately 50 question exam worth 100 points. Every question is worth 2 points. Okay, so exam 1 is worth 100 points, so there's 50 multiple choice questions. Exam 4 is worth 100 points, 50 multiple choice questions. Exam 5 is worth 120 points, so there are 60 questions. Again, all answers are in the slides, so you just have to read the slides carefully. Chapter 6 has 130 points. Chapter 8 is 90 points. Chapter 9 has 4 exams, and all those points add up to 360 points. Okay, so, and all these exams open on May 18th. They close on different dates. The pace I've set up is where you're doing 1 exam a week. Chapter 9, unless you work ahead, you'd have to do all 4 exams the last week. Okay, and you're working toward a total of 900 points. And I've set up this extra credit points to help you out. And this is so you can earn 80 points for free. I'll just add that to your total. Okay, so in principle, if you answered every question right, you can score 980 points out of 900. So you'd almost get 110% grade. Okay, so and the grading scale is the standard scale. 90 to 100% is an A, 85% to 89% is a B plus, 80 to 84% is a B, and so on. Okay, so there's the grading scale. All right, so that's how the course is set up. Again, we are covering 6 chapters from the textbook. Here are the lecture recordings, and your exams for each chapter is set up there. Okay, and this shows you the dates of availability for the chapters. Okay, again, my philosophy is I want you to learn as much as possible, and I don't want you to stress out. And I hope you enjoy the course. If you have any questions, either stop by my office, send me an email, or call me. Okay. All right. Good luck, and I welcome to the course again. Okay. Bye bye.